All right, now we're actually live. I didn't press the go live button yet, but now we did it. And yeah, wasn't expecting to do some streaming today, but I mean I wanted to, but I wasn't feeling great. But you know, sometimes you have to do things. You have to decide to do things, and then everything else is gonna follow afterwards. So that's kind of what's going on right here. So today we're going back to work on Fight and Flight. I don't even know what we're gonna do on that project specifically. We also have the new phone. 1 second. Let me grab it. So I got the cheapo $20 phone from, or the $40 the dollar phone from Walmart. Hey Kieran, good to see you. Hey man, I appreciate it, man. I'm hoping today is a great stream as well, dude. But yeah, super duper cheapo phone, and it's like $43. So I'm gonna see if this works first of all, and then we're gonna build the game to it, and yeah, we'll see how everything works on this. And we're probably gonna have to add some debug stuff to see things like frame rate, and then see what the breakdown is between GPU and all that stuff. But hey, that's part of the fun, right? So I probably should have actually just done this ahead of time, but whatever. I wasn't even planning the stream today. I wasn't feeling too great, but I believe actions come before feelings, or feelings follow actions. So, and I'm already feeling better. Look at that. Cool. Manual. Let's go. So we're gonna see, this is a super cheapo phone. We're gonna try building the game to it, see how it works. And while we do this, let me actually open up the application, which I think actually I already have it open here. So we're good on that front. Also there we go. There's a lot of background noise. So let's try to fix some stuff here. Okay, there we go. What's up, Lily Guitar? Glad to see you. So, let me open up my code base, and then while Rider opens up, we're just gonna open it. It's gonna be a lobotomized device. I honestly thought the phone I was gonna get next is gonna be a flip phone, but for testing purposes and or tax write-off purposes, it's not a tax write-off. Well, it is, but it's not a sizable one. It's a cheapo. It's the whole point is that it's supposed to be a low-end phone. So, either way, just gonna yoink this off, and we're just gonna start it up. Let's see, does it even have juice? I probably should have checked to see if it was charged first. Ah, it started up. Let's go. So while this starts up, let me start adding some basic things to the UI here, so we can actually compare and contrast my current phone versus this phone and see how things go. Yeah, just see what the performance difference is, and then based off of that, we're going to kind of see how we should design our environment art, and how all the assets should be prepared, and what kind of optimizations I need to do, if any. Hey! So, this wants to start. Yes, we're selling our soul to Samsung, of course. Set up manually. Skip. Skip. We don't want nothing. It's gonna be a off the grid phone. I have no SIM card for this whatsoever. Cool. And then on the UI front, we're gonna add some text here. I think we have text here just for basic stuff. But now we're gonna be actually co-opting this to push some actual helpful information. Let's see where this is being used. And then for the cozy, we wrote, last stream we were writing on our engine project, we were writing the texture atlas for having text be displayed from a bitmap image. If this starts, I was running it last night. They should be just fine. Oh, this is Rider. Where's my C-Line project? Where is my C-Line project? Are you in 5? Yeah, here you are. So we have this. So we already have like a basic implementation of like this text-based thing. So I might try to yoink this and make it work. What model I got? I got the Galaxy A15 5G with 6.5-inch HD plus LCD displays with a 2 stars there. So that means it's not exactly. Battery talk time is 43 hours. 50 megapixels plus 5 megapixel plus 2 megapixels divided by 13 megapixels front facing camera, and then 64 gig storage. Honestly, not a bad deal for 40 bucks. Not a bad deal for 40 bucks. Honestly, like, depending on how this phone goes, I might never. Okay, what's going on here? I already agreed to this. Yeah, I already agree. Easy setup with another device. Sign in automatically. Copy settings accounts. Nope. Skip. 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 Don't copy. Next. Skip everything. Skip anyways. I don't care about protecting this phone. Nope. Honestly, once I might try using a different. There's like different Linux distros for mobile devices. So I might try a couple out, like Carbon, which is a very privacy-focused one. Nope, no auto blocker. None of this. Date of birth. You don't need to know that. I was born during the Great War of 1812. Oh, it doesn't go to 1812. All right, 1940s. 1943. Let's do that. Next. Okay. Accept, continue. I don't care. Dark theme, of course. Next. This actually looks really nice. I'm kind of surprised. All right, and then while that does its thing, let's go into Unity, and we're gonna be. Let me find where we were setting UI elements. Or maybe I could just make a separate thing, like duplicate this, call this debug or perf data, and add a component like perf reading. And then we can just set this stuff. Skip, I show speed. I don't know anything about I show speed, to be honest. Sadly, college is starting up again, so I won't be able to stay for the whole stream. It's alright. I appreciate you popping in here, Draco. It's always good to see you. Have like TikTok and stuff on them. That's terrible. I'm glad I haven't had a phone that comes with TikTok and stuff like that. No, accept, continue. Yes, dark theme. Yes, go to home. Okay, cool. Perfect. And then we need to put this bad boy in developer mode, so if we want to do builds to it. So all you have to do is go to the setting icon. You go all the way down to about the phone, and I think it's the serial number where you tap it like 7 times or something. Either that or this. I forgot. It's one of these things. You have to like tap. It feels like an old video game. It feels like an old video game Easter egg, where it's like you have to do this weird sequence of events a certain number of times, and then something crazy happens. Is it status information, maybe? Oh no, software information. Software information, there we go. And then, is it Android version? Nope, not Android version. Ooh, I like the haptics on this. Dude, this cheap phone is actually really... What? Kernel version maybe? Build number. There we go. Now we have developer settings. Perfect. And then I think there's one more thing I have to do for like USB to make sure that I can deploy a build onto this. Not tethering. Block USB connections while locked. USB debugging. Yes, we're allowing it. Perfect. I think we should be good to go. We can build on here. So before I do that though, let me actually add the relevant performance data I want to have be outputted. So we're going to add our text. And then we also have to add our libraries we're using. And then we're going to go to here. And on start, what are we going to do? We're going to get our output component equals get component. And it's tmp underscore text. And then how are we going to structure this output here? We're going to do output dot text is going to be equal to, you can start simple like FPS, and then I forgot, is there like an application? There's target. How do you actually, I've never done this. This is actually weird because I'm so used to using the analyzer. Yeah, let me actually search this up. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, there's just a 1 divided by delta time. Approximation of your, okay. Okay. I thought they had like a property or something, but I guess not. I mean, the math makes sense. Nope. Okay. So let's position this perf data thing to be like down here or something, and then if we run the game, let's see if this actually does what we want it to do. Build number cozy, have open, yep, we got it. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, there's Ubuntu for mobile, and there's a few different things. Oh, we have to do the thing, I forgot we're on Linux or Unity on Linux, so we have to actually force a recompilation for some reason. Cool. And then we run this, and let's see if we get some FPS information here. Nice. We should probably like calculate some heuristics as well, like average or average for the past X number of frames. Either way, that's enough to get started with for right now. Actually, am I gonna settle for that? No, because that's kind of hard to just read it directly. What do I want to do? How do I want to do this? We can just have for the entire application, just have a list and keep expanding it, or we can just have like a buffer, and then once you reach the end, we just kind of wrap around and then calculate the heuristic that way. I guess we could just do that. Sample FPS. And what are we going to do? New you have to actually specify it. Maybe we'll do a const like sample frame count. Maybe make it like the past, I don't know, 120 frames. And then have a thing for like current pointer. Okay, that seems acceptable to me. And then we also have to kind of account for if, I mean, this is gonna, whatever, we'll deal with this later. Your specifications for what? Go back farther to make sure for complete privacy, get a record player. Wait, what? Go back further to make sure for complete privacy, get a record player? They have ones that are in a briefcase? Wait. I'm trying to understand, like, are you talking vinyl or something? Anyways. So, yeah, current index, actually we're going to do the just assignment, so we're going to calculate FPS is going to be equal to 1.0 divided by time.delta time, and then ID of vim I don't need, updates, we're going to index directly into our sample, and we're going to use current index, and it's going to be equal to FPS. And then what are we going to do? After we do this, we're going to calculate the average, which is going to be we're going to iterate through I equals 0, I less than sample frame count, I plus plus, average plus equals it's gonna have errors initially because the buffer is not gonna be filled, but it's all right. By the time when we're looking at it, we would have exceeded the sample frame count already, and it'll be fine. So you add that, and then we do average divide equals sample frame count. Cool, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna do new line, we're going to do average FPS, and we're going to add our average there, and then we're going to do, I don't know, what do we do here? We're going to do current index plus or equals, do I have a math utility for wrap? Or if it goes over, it's going to under overflow. So we're going to do current index plus 1, 0, and then sample frame count. I'm pretty sure there's an easier way of doing this, but conceptually, this is what makes sense in my brain. But honestly, it's just mod, right? Like, we don't have to worry about underflow. We're just worrying about overflow. So we could just do current index plus 1 mod sample count, and that should be fine for all intents and purposes. Okay, I think we're good there. Let's try this out, and then we're gonna do building. Oh, yeah. So here I have commands for this. There's system, there's OS. I think that's like the two main things that might be, and then there's like CRT, I think. Yes, Vinyl is making a joke about tech privacy, Hey, just because you have vinyl doesn't mean that you can't stop the CIA from... Okay. You can't stop the CIA from using magnets to feel the grooves of your vinyl inside your suitcase. Okay, but our average is way more readable. Okay, perfect. So, now's gonna be the fun part. I'm gonna make a build to my personal phone, and we're gonna build to the old one, and we're gonna just see what the perf difference is between like a $1,000 something phone versus like a $40 phone. And we're gonna see how much buyer remorse I'm gonna have here. So my phone's plugged in. Let me make sure it's set to the correct setting. We're gonna be using for transferring files. Yes. Okay. Next, we're gonna make a build. I would sure like to make a build. No, that's from the engine project. Here's build settings. And we're gonna build to Android. We're gonna use, let's refresh and see if we can detect a device. Yeah, that's my Samsung. Alright, and we're gonna just build and run. And then save to this location, replace the APK file. A new game? Okay, no FF9. Yeah, sorry, Hamdi, you're not today. We're gonna be doing, I'm working on my game right now. The game in 3 weeks project, where each day, it only counts as a day if I'm actually streaming and working on it. I don't work on the game off stream. Yeah, save changes. This dialog won't appear again in this editor session if you choose yes. Please choose. Yeah, ignore and continue. We're gonna do that. What type of game? It's like a mobile game. It's like a mobile endless kind of runner. Also, what's going on, Terrell? Good to see you, man. Okay, and the application's running, or it's building right now. So let's see how it builds on my phone. And we're gonna just check the data and see how well it performs. And then we're gonna build onto this $40 phone. Which honestly, like, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's an empty phone, whatever, but I don't know, it just feels, the quality is very nice, to be honest. APK, yeah. It's built into an APK. And then deploying it to my phone. That's the one step with making my own engine that I'm not quite looking forward to, is figuring out how to build to an APK and deploying it to my phone. It's gonna be that's gonna be a whole thing. But we'll burn that bridge when we get there. I know that's a Malifor, but I just started saying that all the time, even at work, and it's it's no longer a Malifor. It's just a normal part of my language, of my diction. Okay, it's almost done. Come on, I believe in you. Now, as far as implementation is concerned for today, hey, build successful. We could play it, and the game is averaging around, well, right now it's like 30 FPS solidly. I wonder if it's a platform limitation thing. But yeah, we're at 30 FPS on this. I don't know why shaders are odd here. The surface stuff is weird, but that's a platform-specific graphics thing we're gonna have to wrestle with later. Point is, okay, that's the kind of performance you're getting on this phone. I think it's actually locked. This phone should totally meet the demands of this, I'm thinking. I'm hoping. Let's see now. Build. We're gonna build and run. Refresh. It's not detecting this device. Oh, brother. What setting did I forget to turn on for developer mode? Oh, wait, actually I have to specify stuff. I have to specify that you're available for transferring files. Always allow from this device. Yes. Okay. Let's try this again. Refresh. And you found my device. Perfect. Build and run. Good morning. What's going on, Soman? Friendly when it comes to changing the OS. Found out when researching jailbreaking. Interesting. I mean, they're all Linux based as well. Like even Terminal U. That was fast. Okay. Yikes. Okay, so this phone is averaging about 15 FPS. 15 FPS. Okay, so there is a difference. There is a difference. It definitely feels way more sluggish. But that's not the baseline, because when we go to the main menu, it's not as bad. So it's definitely due to, it seems like it's very much due to rendering. Because the actual logic that's driving the application is not that complex. In this, like there's something that's super performant that's happening. I mean, let's try sampling it. We have samplers, so we can actually output profile data there to kind of measure this. But yeah, like I think at the very end too, it's like 18 FPS here where there's a lot of objects that are being drawn. But I think when we go off screen, let's go off screen. Oh, come on. Or maybe just go in the opposite direction when there is no geometry. 1 second. Yeah, so now FPS is up to 30 because there's less things being rendered. And now we're matching the performance on the phone here. So it's coming from all the drawing that's happening of complex geometry. Which means we probably want to do either some culling, because I think in this area here you can see a bunch of geometry there. Or we just do the thing of like, hey, we just we simply only draw straight surfaces, and then we communicate buildings through like textures and stuff like that on the surface. So, okay, now we actually have data to inform how we go about optimizations. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that cool? What are you making? I'm making this type of game. I'm making this like endless runner biking game where you're flying through the sky, you're avoiding obstacles, and you can customize your machine, and you're trying to get to the end within a certain time bonus, or to the next gate within a certain time bonus. So that's what we're working on right now. And right now, I'm trying to make sure that this game is optimized for low-end mobile devices. So it's definitely attainable, but we have to be we have to actually kind of care. We have to actually like optimize this. So cool. Now I am thinking, as far as this is concerned, we can have a simple thing of disabling. Oh yeah, these are all grouped as one object, so I can't actually apply this. I can't apply this, the optimization I have in mind for this right now. Okay. Yeah, because it has to be on a per. Actually, is there a per object instance here, or are they all grouped as one thing? They are grouped as one thing. Okay, so I'd have to actually have assets prepared in advance by like grouped together in rows. So to make this happen. Cool. So I can't really implement that right now until I have the assets in a particular format, or I simply decide to just not do 3D assets and instead have this all be like 2D. Have this all be 2D kind of shells that encapsulate inner objects, which I'm kind of cool with as well. Hey, what's going on, Tamerka? It's been a while. Glad to see you here. But now we know, and in fact, let me make a note. Yeah, let me make a note. Here, so we actually have the data for future reference. Fight and Flight Deluxe. I guess I'll just make my notes here in assets. Oh, what am I doing, CD? We have a notes directory now. And then I can just do... perf notes. So... runs at 30 FPS consistently. Cheapo runs at 15 FPS with complex geometry. .30 FPS in ideal situations. Cool. So we have information. We actually have data. So going the GeoNodes route or personally placed assets pieces. No, we're gonna do if we go with the shell thing, or if we go with the geometry thing, then we're gonna have to do the rows we talked about. It's not GeoNodes. I mean, I don't really. The end result is all I care about. How you go about getting there, that's a separate thing. All I need to have is gonna be. Let's go here. I just need to have assets be grouped together based off of rows. So if you have like, this is the cylinder that the game is being played on. We need to have all the different objects that are going to exist here exist as one object. Or even multiple objects. It really doesn't, I don't think it's going to matter that much if it's multiple or it's grouped to one. It'll be better if they're grouped as one, because then we can just turn off one mesh render and that's a simple calculation. Whereas if there's a bunch of them, we're going to have to do a calculation to see if, like, hey, is this object facing towards the player who's up here? Let's say the player's right here. If it's facing this, then they each have to calculate whether or not they're facing that, and then... Or it could be an individual object. It just has to have like a hierarchy where there has to be a root object per row, and then all the individual objects can be underneath there. Because then, like, we can have one component like get all the children on start, and then it will do the calculation to see if this row is facing the player, and then whether or not we want to render this stuff, or if it's facing away from it. So if it's like the row's back here, then it goes, hey, this row is actually facing away from the player. We don't have to render any of this stuff, and just turn off the mesh renderer. That'd be how the assets would need to be organized for me to be able to call it in a very simple, straightforward way. Is that a 2D duck? The rows honestly don't really matter anymore, because these are just environmental stuff. They have to align with the play space, so it's kind of arbitrary. If it's small enough though, like where it's like, because we have a huge row now, we have like 128 rows, I think, because we made the radius bigger for the play area. So all that matters is we have certain areas that are visible. Yeah, and it has almost like a 2D presentation to it. Okay, we're gonna have to fix everything here. But that would be the way I'd go about it. But I think at this distance, we can get away with just having a lot of the heavy lifting being done through the textures themselves. I might change the scale of this control map thing I have going on here, but we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Do I still have cast shadows here going on? I thought I disabled cast shadows. And we're just gonna go for just straight on. No cast shadows, just... Yeah, like there's like a little shadow being casted there. Let me check that real quick. Where are you? Lighting system. Sun. The camera's still doing its thing. But mouse is probably impacting. And then... Yeah, I don't want to have that at all. I want to have cast shadow turned off for everything. Yeah, let me modify this component real quick to ensure that we're not using that, because I think it's gonna be more trouble than it's worth for the scope of the game we're making. And I need to start just getting some actual game logic done more and more. And I think we're gonna have a thing for like, hey, are you using... Oh, I think actually we used... Yeah, casts shadows. And then, yeah, we're doing this lazy thing, set shader properties. Yeah, all this stuff. And this, what is this enable doing? Is it just... Oh, I think I might be using it for... I should have made that name more clear. What do you build? I'm making a game right now, and I'm trying to do some optimizations for a low-end mobile device. Developer game? Like, developer? I've been making stuff for like 15 years, give or take. There he is, the FF9 expert. Far from it. Though, on the topic of Final Fantasy IX, I kind of want to take this week. So, okay, there's like two things. One thing is I kind of want to grind off stream like crazy to get all my characters ridiculously high without leaving the area we left off on stream. So I'm just going to be grinding in like the starter area. Just so like last stream everyone was like level... The highest leveled person was like level 4. And then next stream we show up and everyone's level 50. I think that'd be pretty hilarious. But the second thing is, it turns out my PS2 is kind of dying, it seems like, which is why the discs aren't working. So I'm going to be taking it to the shop and hopefully either get it fixed, or there is a vintage festival this weekend, and I may just go there and try to get another PS2. I have one dead one that's on life support, it seems like, and then we might have to get another one. Who knows? Or maybe I just fix my PS1 and we just play Final Fantasy 1 on that, like it's meant to be played. Yeah, I should have documented this, because this is like a weird misnomer. This enabled field. Like, enabled what? What is this enabled? Set global texture. Oh, if it's not... So, okay. Yeah, okay, never mind. This is actually... Okay, no, it's actually doing what you expected. It's disabling or enabling the actual light. But this is where we do the cast shadow things. And that's what we don't need to do. So I think we're gonna just go to here and be like, hey, if we're doing some depth map, depth world dimension, all this is not even just general shader properties. This is specific to the depth map itself. So I think what we're gonna do is go We're gonna rename this or refactor this. Shadow properties. And then in here, enable or cache shadows. Yeah, we're gonna rename it to that. Then we'll do this set shader property business. And likewise, if cache shadows is on, only then do we actually set the depth camera. Maybe even, so I want to get rid of this component requirement. So we can do a thing where like, hey, you know, this is, if this is null, then we just add the component directly. Software engineering. And then we have to do some specific specifications here. Like, hey, you wanted to do some depth texture rendering, but turns out I should really invert this. This is like an ugly way of structuring this code. This nested if of just gross disgustingness. I don't like that. What we're gonna do is invert everything. So if it's off, we just continue on our day, on our way. And then if depth camera is null or not null, we actually no, this is perfectly fine scenario. We just set it to the component we add, and then we do this stuff here. So it's relatively flat. Okay, cool. So if we don't want to cast shadows, we don't even bother with any of this initialization that we do here. If we get the component but it's null, we're gonna add the camera component there, and then if it's not orthographic, we're gonna say, hey, you did something dumb, you didn't initialize it correctly, or maybe we just correct it for you, who knows. And then we set the depth, we do the texture business here, yada yada yada. We initialize some values, and then we set the shadow properties, and life is good. And then on awake, we do a init, and that's perfectly fine. Great. Cool. And then we can do this indicates that we want to render cast shadows. What's going on? Athianary. How you doing? While you add what the parentheses, that just kind of indicates it's a function. What do you like, Unreal Engine or Unity? I tolerate Unity far more, but we're gonna go to my own engine. What about PS3? I do have a PS3 motivational life. I enjoy my PS3. That's actually like my first main. I think I had a PS. No, I had a PS. My sister had a PS1. I had a PS2 when I was younger, and I played that. The PS3 is the one that hit the hardest for me. I think because I was much more conscious then. Like I was actually kind of a person. But yeah, I'm gonna remove this camera. We don't need it anymore. The world is plunged into darkness, and that's fine. We should probably do one other thing while we're doing our cozy sunlight, which is that if said, if we do not enable this, oh, these are doing the same thing actually. Whatever. So if we don't want that, we actually set the global texture map to be white instead. And then this is just kind of, I don't even know. We'll deal with this shenanigans later. I'm not sure if this enabled field is being used, because I would use that to like determine if, hey, do you want to even have this light source be emitting stuff? But that's not what I'm using it for. I'm using it to determine if you want to have cast shadows and lighting and stuff, and that's a whole different thing. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Okay, import. What about classic invert with a function, so you can have however many if returns? What do you mean invert within a function? Like the thing I think about is like inverting ifs to like like you end up having guard statements essentially, so that the hierarchy is very flat as far as your logic is concerned. Okay, nice. So we don't have, now it's just there's no cast shadows being drawn and no depth map being rendered. We're just doing the thing. Cool. And no weird visual fidelity issues. Nice. It's not fun how like the shells from the control map thing are gonna be very jagged, but that's fine. I need to clean up some of this radial shader stuff though, because there's some weird pulling happening towards corners, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay, cool. What to do? How do you do back-end dev work for a living? I don't do back-end dev work for a living, so I can't really tell you beyond just get a job doing that. I mean, there's a basic stuff of just, hey, work on projects, learn the stacks, learn a couple different stacks. You know, whether it be like, I don't know, lamp stack, MERN, mean stack, whatever. But just implement it at some point. I think that's going to give you a lot of information. I don't know, the first software job I had was doing back-end engineering, but I had zero experience within it, so I just had to Google like crazy, read up on as much as I can, and then try to do a bunch of pro cons in terms of decisions behind the back-end stack. But I don't know, there's so many different technologies out there, or tools or frameworks or whatnot. So we have this whole stack business. So actually, no, let's just focus on actual gameplay logic. First of all, the environment, the cozy, the environment in the garage looks super weird. So let me go. I'm not gonna tolerate this anymore. We're gonna have some decently normal looking shaders here. I don't know why they're all just super weirded out. I think 'cause I was testing something, that's why. Yeah, because this is a cozy surface thing, and yeah, I'm using a noise texture to test with. Can I do none? Cool, we're gonna be using none and it's gonna be fine. And then if we press play, how does this look? It's like unlit though. Why is it unlit? We have the cozy surface shader, cozy surface default. We're doing per pixel lighting. That's correct. What about our sun? Or do we even have a sun? Okay. Environmental shadow. Okay, so this leads me to believe there's something wrong with my shader here. What is wrong with my shader? Let's see here. We're not gonna do the PS1 vertex snapping. I should make that like a feature or a multi-compile thing. It looks smooth. Thank you, the fat papita. Have a question, maybe it's stupid, but how that image working background image, or how that image working background, because one day I was want to edit image GTA body, but I see something I can't understand because you're gonna have to help me out here. I want to answer your question. I'm not sure what exactly you're asking though. Working background, like, are you asking about like how the background stuff looks like, how it's working the way it is? As a software dev in my current and I usually work on Godot and Flutter, and I think beyond this job max for a whole 1-2 years. Okay. I mean, it's kind of interesting you're using Godot and Flutter. I've never really seen a game engine in tandem with that. But I really don't know that much about Flutter. Yeah, sorry, my English is not perfect. Okay, no, it's all good, man. I want to better understand the question. So what specifically about the background do you want to know about? DR cozy alert, light vertex. Is there anything we need to set off here? Are we missing any directives? I think we are, actually. I think we may actually be, yeah, because if I go to like or FNF standard, I believe, yeah, there's this multi-compile directives that we need to have. No, that's cozy unlit. We're going to, oh, this is cozy unlit. Of course it's not going to work. It's an unlit shader. Duh. Cozy light, cozy surface. There we go, and now it's going to be lit with our lighting model. I'm looking at implementing some other lighting models. This is a super simple one, but there's some other, it's what I'm doing is fundamentally kind of just a Lambertian type lighting model, but I've been looking at some other stuff, and I kind of want to experiment with some other ones. But I want to get some stuff done before I decide to throw myself into like a little R&D exploration rabbit hole. Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. That's working. Yeah, we're doing game development, Ash. And I want to work for a nice, I'm assuming we say compy, you mean company, which is where they place nice, like a company from abroad, like German or something, some other. Do I need to learn different language for that or apply on those jobs? I'm probably not the best guy to ask this question because I've only had 2 software development jobs, really. And I've been there long term. The most I can tell you is, hey, work on projects, grow in knowledge. Don't spread yourself too thin, but instead like take something and just dive deep into it. Because I think when you dive deep into something, how should I say this? So like there's, if you have like a graph, or is there even a need for graph? Maybe even just a number line. whatever. Like, you can have, let's say like this is depth, and these are, and the X is like your different projects, right? If you have like a bunch of projects that are very small and trivial, but you get like a good surrounding of a bunch of different things, like maybe you do a little stuff in this engine, and maybe you do some stuff in web dev and whatnot. This is cool. You're gonna get some more experience, but there's a lot of fundamentally, you're grabbing the low-hanging fruit, right? But if you take something and you start diving deep into it, you're going to start encountering new ideas, new problems, new solutions that you wouldn't have got into had you not worked on a non-trivial project and just allocated that much time onto it. And the cool thing is that as you grow in expertise within like one thing in particular, it's not like it's mutually exclusive to these other things. You know, once you go here and you go back to something else like web dev or whatever, you have some different ideas about how you'd architect certain problems or situations or different kind of considerations about it. So it's good to get familiar with a bunch of different things, but I think it's worthwhile to be like, all right, I'm going to choose this thing and I'm just going to get good at it. I'm going to choose, let's say, like C++, and we're just going to dive deep into learning how to architect and not even just C++, but C++ in a particular context. In my case, like maybe for games or game engines and whatnot. Whatever it is that piques your interest, dive deep on it. Go past the wall of triviality and go into the more complex things. And then I think a lot of the things you'll encounter there will translate to other places. I think this is not necessarily, I think there is specific fields where there's kind of certain ceilings in terms of that barrier for triviality and how deep you can go with it. But I think in general, there's a lot you can learn. Like you can do architecture and complex structures in JavaScript. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can't avoid it. But like, yeah, just get out of the tier of like triviality and get into the deeper, more interesting problem domains. Like for example, like everyone learns how to do sorting algorithms. And cool, you can have a project on your GitHub that's like, hey, I implemented this sorting algorithm or this data structure. Who cares, right? I mean, it's good to learn that. But it's very different to be like, hey, I was working on this project and I needed a way to deal with, I don't know, organizing these objects in a certain way. Maybe I was working on a game engine and I needed to have a way of curing collisions. So I was like, oh, I implemented this data structure, this tree structure, and it helped with performance. And now it's like, cool. Now, not only did I implement this data structure, I implemented it to solve a problem I was facing within an actual project. Or maybe you're doing like some kind of text navigation thing, and you're like, hey, maybe I should implement a try structure. But it's very different when you're actually applying something to a particular problem space versus just in isolation. Do you find assert or similar keywords useful? It's both declarative, like self-documenting code, and practical makes. I like using assert for a number of different places. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on where I am in the code base. I use it a lot for unit testing, but even beyond that, it's nice to be like, hey, this function has these set preconditions, and it's going to assume that these are met, and if they're not met, that's a issue with you. But it kind of it differs. Like sometimes I do assert, sometimes I do. It depends on the part of the application too. I like the way kind of how John Blow talked about different parts of the software, where it's kind of like material science, where there's certain parts of the code that's meant to be very hard and very rigid, and then there's other parts of the code that are much more loosier and goosier and much more malleable. I think in the parts of the code base that are meant to be much more rigid, I like being very assertive with using either asserts or throwing exceptions specifically for these conditions not being met. Parts are much more loosier or more malleable. I'd rather return like for example, a result or option or something. So it's like, hey, this thing failed. Try error handling it. It really depends on what part of the application you're in, or I'm in. So we got this going. Last time we were working on the game board as well. I think what I want to start, because there's things that need to be done, but there's a core part of this game that's still missing, which is the whole time bonus thing. I think we really need to get that completed, which is going to be specifying like, hey, here's the end goal, here's the time limit you have. If you get to it, you're going to get this, X amount of bonus, or maybe even a penalty if you're under it, or nothing. You just get nothing if you're under it. So how do we want to do that? We have, I think, do I not have an application class? I have a scripts there, but yeah, I don't have, where's the features? I usually have a features folder. I don't have a features folder? What? I have a folder for byte configs, for fonts, graphics, home, levels. Interesting. There's shop, and then there's levels. Okay, let's add the thing then. We're gonna make a new folder and title this, I don't know, game, level. We already have a level thing. That's more like asset oriented. I'm gonna have to clean this up. Gameplay. Everything is kind of gameplay. Oh yeah, I need to think this through. Whatever, we'll make it good later. Let's just go in here. And then this time-based thing is gonna be like just game timer. Let's think about its responsibilities. So we can probably have the timestamp. Or what was it? Time? Is it? I forgot what it is in C#. 2-year Google make language new. React or C# was good if you want to make an app. React. Okay, I'm gonna hold myself back, guys, because I have very strong opinions about things, but I'm aware I'm very much in the minority when it comes to it. So we're just gonna, and you know what? Maybe I'm not even the most informed. So we're just gonna hold my opinions back. So, what is this gonna need? We don't need a time span. I'm pretty sure it's like a timestamp. There's time span. There's, what is this? Time dot now. Or no. What is it in .NET? There's something like time and then .now. I forgot what it is though. It's not duration. Time clock. Oh, you know what? Using this is not going to work. Even then, this is not going to work. So we just need to use a timer. Yeah, we're going to have to just use a timer for this. Because we have to factor in the fact that you can pause the game and that shouldn't factor into the time for getting to a location. And then we have to figure out how this can be triggered. So like, it's all based upon like a target position. So when the player gets to the end of like a certain area, what do? Do we just have them keep moving forward? Or maybe we just reset their position so we can have like target X. Because the nice thing is that everything's aligned to the X axis. So we can just have like a target X position for whatever world the player's gonna be playing through. And then there's probably something that's going to indicate set time, set timer, and then this also has to respond to pause events. So you might make this like an iPausable, and it's going to respond to updates from the game being paused and resume. And let me make sure this is going to be, yeah, we have to register this. So on start, do I just call this application? Did I never rename it? I did. Oh my goodness. Okay. Get. Yeah, there's a number of different things here. I know for a fact we have like a back-end thing though. Okay, 1 second. Let's go directly here. Instance, we have a message broker, we have all this kind of stuff. Oh, I don't even do like a, oh no, we do have this. So I just never set it? Is that what's going on here? It's a private field, so I just need to expose this outward. So expose this game backend and have a thing called backend. I'm surprised I haven't done that before. And on awake, we do all this kind of stuff. And this is a static thing. Yes, we did make it a static. Perfect. So we can do backend. No. Oh, because. And then get module iPausable. And we're gonna make it private iPausable. Let me catch up in chat real quick, guys. 1 second. So why are you mad? Oh, I don't have pause module. That's what it is. That's the individual thing. Alright, what's going on here? Yeah, I really like the rigid, flexible analogy. Yeah, when I heard that, made perfect sense. It makes a lot of sense for me. Your first language programming was C. Well, no, I did C++, but then I switched to GameMaker language for a bunch of years, and then I did C for schooling, and then Java and some other stuff. But I'm doing nowadays I work in C# mostly. But even then, like, even in a lot of languages, you can still make things very fast and lean. But does the company you work also use IDE AI, or is it okay because now developer time for everything has been reduced? I don't personally use AI in general, but I know, like, for my work they do it sometimes here and there, but it's not very widely used, nor is it really the most useful thing right now. Yes, but do we need architecture? You're always architecting. If you're tackling an actual problem, then you have to architect some kind of solution to address it, right? So yeah, you can't escape architecture, and especially if you're working with other people, then that becomes very essential, because an architecture is not only about how do you solve the problem, but it's also how do you coordinate with a number of different people. Also, thanks, Terrell, for getting on that too. Target time, target position, target time, target position, and then we have to start the timer, which, by the way, this needs to be a new instance for all this stuff. Target time. We should also specify if this is going to be seconds as well. Honestly, like, the system time, .NET's timer isn't always very accurate either. So I think I might just make my own timer and just keep track of it within Unity. And use like time.delta time to keep track of the total elapsed time. So yeah, we'll do like float. So this might need to be access. I don't know. I think this would be a driver. Current elapsed time, seconds. Okay. No, that's not the one. And then current elapsed time and seconds can be 0. And then is timer running. And that's going to be very simple. And then all we're going to be doing is if timer is running. Or we can do the guard statement and be like, if it's not running, we return early. Otherwise, we do current elapsed time plus equals timer.delta time. What's going on here? Don't know how is time in your country, but for me it's 5:37 in the morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you go to sleep, dude. Thanks for hanging out, Sir Cats. You have a good one, man. Do you use any of the new technology of the Unity engine, such as dots? I feel like these new techs makes the engine more complicated for a small... I mean, it's not a small performance boost. So, like, things like the burst compiler are actually very, very big in terms of getting a lot of speed. It's, like, ridiculous. It's orders of magnitude faster. The thing is, though, burst compiler by themselves and using the job system, pretty nice. Their ECS system it's not very easy to onboard people, and then B, I think after the Unity layoffs, it's just kind of fallen to the wayside and isn't being supported in modern Unity. So it doesn't seem like that's something people they're really pushing much on anymore, which kind of sucks, because I could see what the Horizon might have looked like, but at the very least you still have things like the burst compiler and the job system to make some fast CPU code execution happen. But as far as how it integrates with the actual Unity level components and everything, that's still a separate thing, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't get to use it very much because a lot of different platforms I target don't really support it. So like web, they don't do burst compilation. Mobile, I forgot what it was in mobile that's the issue. I forgot what it was mobile that doesn't work. Was it compute shaders that don't work? I don't know. That's something else. Either way, there's like different considerations. I have to think about what the timer is going to look like, or how this sequence is going to work. So the player, out of the way. So the player's here. You start the game, and what happens first? There's got to be a countdown, right? So countdown happens. That needs to trigger something visually. And then after countdown, you start the timer. So timer start. Right. And then once the player reaches like the defined end goal, we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going to the next area, but we have to specify like there's going to be a time where there's just no obstacles. So it's like the results is the next sequence of things to do. It shows like what your time was, how much gold you got or whatever currency it is, results, and then you go to the next environment that's in store for you. Going for the job. Hey man, I'm having fun time here. I'm glad, man. Yeah, do your work and stuff, man. Unity and Microsoft, I feel like, are both going towards the same end. Yeah, they're just kind of destroying. I mean, like, there's the whole issue with Microsoft where they're losing like 18% of their revenue, I think, year by year because of Windows 11. You have entire countries like South Korea's government saying, "Hey, we're not going to use Windows 11 at all. It's just banned from our country." Then they're developing their own version of Linux based off of Ubuntu, which is pretty insane. You lost the usership of an entire country's government, and not only the government, but then also like a bunch of other like major companies like Samsung are starting to playing around with transitioning to Linux as well. And then there's things like I couldn't find this. I was looking into it because I heard about it, but I couldn't quite find it. But I remember hearing about how Australia's Windows 11 violates some patient privacy laws in Australia, which is why they're transitioning away from it too. It's a whole thing, man. Just terrible software, terrible business decisions, really, specifically. Terrible business decisions. You hate to see it. So with this, when we pause, we need to set the is timer running to false when we pause, and then when you resume, we set it to true. And then let me make sure that these functions are doing what I imagine them to do. Oh great, I never documented it. Fantastic. Represents a game object that can be paused and resumed through the global pause not system. Pause. Is it not called the pause module? I'm pretty sure I call it, yeah, it's just a pause module. Oh, I need to specify that. But yeah, it's like it's a whole thing, man. You get to see more and more like bad software. How long the company's been around? Yeah, no, honestly. But hey, that's just what happens when an entity changes hands enough times. You eventually get its downfall. Something you never done, how you approach. I do that. I mean, like, it depends on what you're doing. Implement something you've never done. I mean, most of what I do is implementing stuff I've never done. You can do. There's like two approaches I kind of think of. There's like the naive approach where you just throw yourself at it and start implementing and writing code to just try to achieve the goal you have in mind the best you can. And then see if it works, and if it doesn't, take notes and then try it and iterate until you can make it work the way you want to. There's that approach. And then you can be a bit more, what is it? Is the word fastidious? Fastidious. Or am I just using this word in the wrong way? Oh yeah, okay, fastidious. Maybe not quite what I have in mind, but you can go the approach of actually reading papers about what you're doing, especially if what you're doing is much more in the realm of like, I'm not gonna say theory, but usually like, depending on what you're doing, how should I say this? If you're doing something that you can see being someone's like math PhD paper, there's probably a case of a paper existing for it somewhere. So like, if I were to implement, I don't know. If I were to like try implementing, for example, how to generate a mesh from volumetric data, I would look for papers about that, and you would see different papers about like, you know, dual contouring or marching cubes or whatnot. And yeah, and like for a bunch of different spaces in like computation, you'd be surprised about how much video games are built upon a lot of complex math that the person who made it didn't invent necessarily, but just found papers for or saw other people's implementations of and kind of took inspiration. So yeah, looking for papers, looking for documentation, discourse, references, that sort of thing. That's a less fun thing for some people might find, but you'll be surprised about what you can find from there. I think a good video to reference as far as that approach is Casey
The Mist.
Oh, is that me? No. Casey Muratori. Papers We Love. He had a talk about that, specifically about different papers that are very impactful for him in his career. Papers I Have Loved by Casey Muratori. So I think that provides much more concrete examples of it, but there's times in my career where I have to do that. What's going on, TSD? It's good to see you, man. What are we doing today? We're working on day 15 of making this game. Built on cubed, stack cubes, and then you'll have Minecraft. Well, even then, like, it's like, it's crazy how even in the realm of volumetric data, there's like so many different problems or interesting things that emerge. Different considerations at different levels. Yeah, I think I posted in the Discord that engine that someone's working on. It's a great video because it gives you a cross section of all the different kind of considerations and that are involved with it, right? And what kind of drove them. So like, there's something we was talking about, you know, mesh generation, or talking about, hey, how do you like quantize SDF fields, and then like how do you encode SDF fields in a very not space intensive manner. So you go from like a simple just a block to like, hey, you can actually have like sparse, and then like things for like tree structures for collisions and whatnot. It's a really cool video. I think it's in the Discord. It's a guy making his own SDF game engine, or SDF based game engine, which honestly, when I saw that, it's like, it feels like the future, man. Yet in a weird way, it's not, because a lot of technology and principles have existed for a while. But yeah, my favorite Windows 98 streamer. Thank you, Kai. Even though it's not Windows 98, but hey, may as well be, right? Anywho, so we have our pausing and unpausing working. If we pause, the timer is no longer running. If it's resuming, then the timer is running again. We talked about the sequence that should happen, so I might even convert this from being just a void to instead be like a coroutine, or I make it like a normal function that somebody else can call, but then in here we actually make it a coroutine, an internal coroutine. I forgot what it is. Oh, is it just system collections? Okay. Start timer. Yield. Turn null. Why are you mad at me? Enumerator. I'm stuck between, should I start writing the story or should I get started with the game? I mean, it depends on what kind of game you're making, dog. Depends on what you're doing. Some games are very much lean themselves towards having approaching it in terms of like game loops. So they're very much driven by the mechanical structure of stuff. There's other games, but then there's games that are much more. I mean, everything can be kind of just a game loop, but there's some games that are approached more like a script or a movie. But yeah, it really depends on what you're doing. Actually, let's try using UniRX. Observable from. Actually, we should probably do. Come on. From. I'm using the UniRX one, not the Unity input system one. Why are you saying that? There we go. You're gonna drive me crazy. I know this is. There we go. From coroutine, subscribe, and then add to this. Perfect. Cool. Timer and count down for the next play segment, let's call that. And then there's some other things to consider, like, hey, is this the first time? Because then we'll do the countdown. Or so it's first time we'll do the countdown. Otherwise, Actually, it has to become false. So it's initialized to that value. Okay, what's going on? Hey, it's Morgan. What's going on, Morgan? It's good to see you. And what's going on, everyone? What are you doing? I'm working on a game within like 3 weeks, technically. I mean, kind of, but not really. It's taken. I only count the days that I stream because I don't work on the game off stream usually, or honestly, just generally not. So, yeah, we're marching towards day 21. Love the decompile. Yeah, Rider is fantastic. I love JetBrains products in general. Like C-Line's great for C++ stuff too. I love it. For a demo, yeah, we can demo it real quick. I also have it working on the $40 phone, and we've figured out what kind of optimizations we need to do to make it work, which is pretty cool. And it seems like having it work at a very reasonable FPS is very much possible. We just need to account for, you know, geometry, which I might even just sidestep this whole issue to begin with. But yeah, here's just a general look of it. Oh, I'm so dumb. I need to also up the health for the player. And we have to do the heads up thing too, because it's kind of dumb having a game that makes you want to go, that encourages you to go fast, but like you can't navigate things correctly. I think that's pretty bad. So we're gonna, yeah, that's the thing we have to work on, is having some kind of heads up thing so you can see like, hey, where is the danger at? But yeah, and it's like a pinwheel world, so you rotate and you see all this stuff, and everything's kind of mapped in this interesting kind of mapping situation we have going on here. And we're doing the timer right now. Same. No, it's not. C# and C are very different. Ah, General Kenobi. Yeah. Off-screen danger indicators. Yeah, that's where we're gonna have to do that. I tried getting around it with having like a bigger FOV, but I'm simply just gonna have the indicators, or maybe have it where the faster you go, the bigger the camera expands out, so you can see more of your surroundings. But then I can see that being a little too ridiculous. I don't know. Anyways, we're making like the controller for both the timing and the for timing and the handling of sequences. So like having the startup timer, the startup countdown. Oh, what am I doing here? Otherwise, if it's not the first time, we actually have a result to report. So, report result, disable hazards, generation, load next environment. And I need to make some like distinct architectural decisions about how we're gonna organize our environments. Well, on a train, losing signal now. Oh, GG's. Yeah, I was gonna come back. Duh, I thought you'd... young Padawan. I love that Obi-Wan. Alright guys, we're gonna do something a little bit weird, something I haven't done before, which is actually like, I've done it before, but I'm usually bad at it. I'm gonna take a second to go use the bathroom, get some more water, maybe some snacks. It'll be quick, but I've been going to the gym, and I've been going crazy. I haven't gone to the gym in like a few years. So I think I went a little too hard on it, and these past 2 weeks I've been struggling with energy and all that kind of business, because I also have to like do nutrition a little bit differently. And yesterday was kind of crazy. The thing is, like, we go to the gym and it's so fun to work out. You get carried away. So like last time I did like, it may not be impressive, but for me it's quite a lot. We did like a lot of stuff. Like we did dips, bench, standing overhead cable rows, barbell shrugs, single arm cable raises, skull crushers, preacher curls, barbell standing wrist curls, chest fly machines. It was a lot. So I feel dead a little bit, and I need to hydrate, and I'm out of water. And likewise, I gotta use the bathroom because I'm not trying to have a buildup of creatine or whatnot. I don't know how that works, but we need to take care of the body. So be right back. I'll be quick. And in the meantime, let me run the StreamWorld overlay that we just so happen to have here that we need to fix a little bit, but it's fine. We'll go back to the engine development later. We'll make this game engine look fantastic. For now, though, be right back. Actually, you know what? I have powers, don't I? Because we did it this way. Let me go, 1 second, before we go. Let me just do something real quick. Here we go. How does this look? Does it fit on screen? We'll see. Hopefully it all fits in screen. Oh yeah, I forgot. Everything has to be caps. Whoopsie. Yeah, because I didn't finish that. What's going on, Zero? It's good to see you, man. Nice. Okay, be right back for real. 1 sec. Alright, we're back, guys. Precy's a string to caps. What's going on, TST? Alright. I think we have gotten quite a bit done, I feel some energy surging again. Sorry, one sec. So, we have these different things. The most important thing is doing the report results thing. So I think we're going to do a private enumerator. Report results. Decompose it this way. We'll do like yield break. And we're gonna stop our timer. Or actually we're gonna stop, yeah. Oh, this is very interesting. Because I'm using this method, this single method, to do a few things. I'm using it to do the initial, countdown, then run. But then the next time we set the timer, it's when there's another segment. Which means we have to do this other thing of like, hey, we actually don't start the timer, we stop it, report the results, and then do the thing. Okay, so there's some additional things to consider here. Sorry, I need food, man. Your boy needs nutrients. He needs sustenance. So, let's see what we have going on here. So we have actually, for simplicity, we might have to just separate this out and to do two separate things. Yeah. Because there's like two separate behaviors that need to happen. Yeah, so you have to like these two things. You have the initial start, and then we have transition to next level. And then we have this one over here, which is transition to next level, which is going to be a bit more different in terms of what it actually does. Because this has to disable the hazard generation, report the results, and then we start doing the next yeah. Sorry guys, I need a snack. There's a lot of sevens there, man. 7 lucky number till I'm out of money. My name means physically nothing depending on the username. 0. Well, it's a face. 77.7% of gamblers give up before they get got by the mob boss at the casino for counting cars. I'm centimeters from reaching diamonds. Let's go. The Boeing 777. Oh my goodness. Are they still crashing? Let's see what we got going on here. What are you coding? I'm working on a game. I'm working on this like little. Oh, I need to fix bugs, don't I? I'm working on this like little mobile game. It's an endless runner type thing. It's just something to get done within 3 weeks, just for fun. And where's the error? Oh, here. I'll show you right now. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. And right now, it's particularly I'm working on doing this like whole management of, hey, when you start playing, there should be a countdown, and there should be a goal set for what time you're aiming to get to, and once you get to that specific time or distance, we check to see how your time compares to the target time, and then, we transition you to the next level or next stage. I don't know, I'm debating though if I want to even do that. Part of me wants to just keep it super simple, make this an endless runner, and just focus the rest of the days of just focus the rest of the effort to just polishing this up, like having the character actually move and have the different animations, and then actually cutting out the sprites so that it's actually a layer of different things. One part for the engine, one part for the player, and then one part for the hull. And maybe something for the brakes. But yeah. Yeah, honestly, I almost feel inclined to just do that and not even have the timer thing. But then it kind of breaks like the game loop, because you want to incentivize going faster. But who knows? Maybe you can keep it simple. Like you have like these optional timers you can hit. Yep. Do you work in the industry? Kind of. Not in the game industry. Adjacent to it, though. I can't put my logical algorithm to code, so it always fascinates me when people can code like you. I appreciate it, man. But I feel like you'd be surprised. Yeah, it will be available for people to play. I think once you like get in tune with I don't know. I'm not gonna be prescriptive here. I feel like once you do a few things with I don't know, like once you get familiar with the language and how certain logical things are expressed in the syntax and the structure, it becomes a bit more I don't know, manageable. I don't know. Managing state's always crazy. It's always complex. That's just all of computing. Like all these different paradigms that emerge, like functional programming or reactive extensions or whatnot, are all different means of managing complexity and state changes. And you can just do your best. Just catch the vibe, bro. Just vibe, bro. What was I doing? You know what? Let's actually work on the player. Because I'm actually I don't feel fully convinced with this. It's so hard for me to just stick with just a, what is this? level. Yeah. To stick with the design. In a weird way, design is really hard. You'd think the technical stuff or the assets or the art is the hardest thing, but I find it so difficult just to make a game or design a game. Or the keyboard. Working in the Archive VZ realm. What is Archive realm? What exactly is that? I actually don't want to work in the game industry, I'm gonna be real with you. But yeah, I enjoy just working independently. Where's the player? Sprite. So we have one sprite for the entirety of the player. I think we're going to separate this out. Have one for the actual character. Have one for, and then for the different components of the hull. So we have one for hull, and maybe one for engine, and then one for, I don't know, do we need to visually show brakes? I don't know. Clickety clack, yeah. We're clacking over here. Also, I have an idea. There's a bunch of ideas I have for 2026. But I'm kind of debating if I want to do my Final Fantasy game streams on YouTube, or maybe I should just do it in the Discord and have it be like a community, just hang out, chill thing. I don't know. I almost feel like it's more lent towards that, and then keep like streams here to be mostly just coding. I don't know. It's something I've been debating. We'll see. So you have these different components here now, and then let's go to the actual sprite and separate things out a little bit, because a sprite, thank you. And there's of course having the return of the Minecraft server for the Discord. Maybe I jumped the gun on just ending it. Maybe if I just let it sit for a little bit more and try doing more with it, could have popped off a bit more, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just give that a try. Let's see here. So we want to have just the hull here. So I want to get rid of the character. Enter position on the bike. I'm going to do something very rough and simple for right now, just to get the idea across. And then just eliminate the player. Oops. Yeah, little by little. Stop. So we can have the bike be swappable, or the character even be swappable. We even have different components of the bike be grouped together. I'm using something called Aseprite. I've been using it for years. It's a great application for modifying sprites. I tend to hop around to keep the productivity going, knowing I'll have to answer to it later. When I work on a scene, I tend to hop around to keep productivity going, knowing I'll have to answer to it later. Architecture visualization. I'm the same way. After knowing about the game industry, I'm pretty content where I'm at. I want to start doing streams like yours, but for 3D rendering. That'd be pretty sick, man. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, yeah, I didn't know about that at all. This whole space of architectural visualization. And I'm assuming when you're saying architecture, you're talking about like building architecture, right? That's actually really cool, if that's the case. So it's available for both, I think, but I'm using a paid version. They have a free version called like Libra Sprite or something you can try out. Let's see here. So we need to start. We have to get out of my game engine project and go into the actual Fight and Flight. And within here we have bike configs, and then there's like different resources here, but we're not messing with any of that stuff. Instead, we're gonna just have a folder for bikes or hulls. Red Blaze, I guess. A very generic name for it, but who cares? It gets the job done. And then we can start moving some of this stuff out. Oh, Piscal, yeah, that Piscal's a big one too. A lot of people use it. I'm a certified Piscal hater. But I don't know. I need to stop yucking on people's yums. It's actually fine. I've seen people do cool stuff with it. I'm just of the persuasion that Aseprite is superior to everything and everyone. As far as image editing is concerned. I will ride or die Aseprite. There was that stream a while ago where I was kind of struggling with some stuff. But I think that's much more of a Linux thing and not an Aseprite thing, so we keep respect on Aseprite. I'm not gonna slander their good name. Okay. And I have to make a decision about how we're gonna organize stuff. If I'm gonna do an explicit animation for rotation, that's cool, but then like it's kind of limited what you can do with it. Or I can do it be procedural, not procedural, but like actually just rotate the thing by the number of degrees that the character is rotating by, but then I don't really like that. I'm not a fan of that, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But we're in a 3D game, so we can rotate just pixels, and it's fine. I don't have to be a purist. It's okay. We can rotate sprites here. Life is okay. Take a deep breath, Marco. It's fine. It's all fine. Life is good. Things don't have to be pixel perfect. You don't like it, and we both have no issues with each other. Are you kidding me? TST, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna meet you at the parking lot of Dunkin' Donuts, and we're gonna square up, okay? How dare you use a different tool than me? How dare you use Godot instead of my game engine that I have not published and or made available for people to use, and it's not even good to use yet? How dare you? We must fight. Oh man. Cool. It's largely the same, just the little flick. And then I think I might implement the rotation thing and then go from there. Invite you to a latte. Yeah, I'll invite you to a latte. A latte these fists. Yeah, I get a lot of these fists. It's bad. I tried. I'm not a pun guy. I don't do that. I think I've seen 2 dunking. What? Oh man. On his engine sensei. How's the code treating you? It's treating me the case same as usual. Code doesn't hurt me. I hurt me. Engines hurt me. Code is usually fine. We actually have a sprite for this. We actually have to start initializing this stuff, man. But thanks for axing Alex. Hey, I'm glad you like it, Michael. I'm glad you dig the setup. We need to do some stuff. We have to go to the player. We're gonna have this dynamic thing go on here. So you have the player. So you have to change some stuff here. We have the sprite render for the player, which is cool. But we're gonna have to change stuff. We're gonna have to change the sprite for. Are we gonna use a sprite render? Maybe I don't even need to. These things are gonna be static. I don't think I'm gonna have any animations for. I mean, whatever. I can. And this is no longer render. This is gonna be character. Yes. No, we're not gonna do the formerly serialized as. And I think these are the 2 things we're gonna set, and then we'll deal with everything else after. Maybe I have a thing for engine. And you know what? We can rename all this stuff here. Do we need a specify it's a renderer? I mean, the type kind of indicates that. Oh well. Yeah, I'm working in Unity sadly today. I have left the beautiful lands of my engine. Which, by the way, guys, isn't it great that I can play my game in Unity and it doesn't tank from 300 FPS to like 30 or something? I don't know. It's something dumb. That was a big dip. Maybe not 300. It's like 100 something to like 30. No, we have this running in the background and it's just fine. It's just fine. Mission achieved, dude. Mr. Snow Leopard, play something awesome. What's awesome? What is something that is awesome in your eyes? Oh, in your life? No, I've seen quite a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. I used to live by one. I used to eat there, but then like I realized a lot of Dunkin' Donuts kind of gross. I used to get like not only bagels, but they had this sandwich of like bacon, egg, and cheese, and it was pretty good. I liked it. The bacon toasted, I think, was what it was called. But then I had this crazy realization of, hey, I could just make that. I could just make that at home. I could just make it on my own. Final Fantasy 9 or 8, that'll be for another stream. The main thing is the coding stuff. Final Fantasy 9 is how I treat myself. We'll probably do it sometime this week. I was even debating of maybe just doing it on Discord instead of on YouTube. I don't know. We shall see what happens. We have. I should make a vote or something. I don't know. Relative input, get UI input. Yeah, it's definitely fun playing FF9. I think I'm gonna do something where I'm gonna grind off stream this week just to get the characters kind of ridiculously leveled, just to meme. So like last stream, you guys saw me at level 4 with my characters, and then the next stream we're still at the same location, but They're all like level 50 or something. Something really dumb. Yeah, I think that'd be hilarious. I mean, I kind of spoiled it, but whatever. Who knows? Maybe I won't even do it. But there's something about doing coding streams. I just need to do it. I have this thing where it's like I can't go to sleep unless I'm both physically and mentally tired. And I found out that I can't just I tried relaxing for the first time these past couple weeks. I'm not gonna code or anything. I'm just gonna sit down, watch Top Gear, maybe play a game or something, and that's it. And the thing is, I can't go to sleep. I just can't. I simply just cannot sleep. But, when I do the coding, my day job, and then I do here and do some coding stuff, and then I'm like, all right, I've actually properly used up my capacities. I can actually sleep somewhat normally now. So, yeah, I'm finding that I can't... It feels like I can't leisure. Which is kind of, at least without breaking my sleep cycle. Configuration is the current configuration. And then what does this have here? We have characters gonna be the same one. We have hull is gonna be. In fact, what does this even use? Is it using texture 2Ds or is it using? Engines. Yeah, what are you using? Yeah, you're using texture 2Ds. Okay, screw it. We're gonna do the thing of just making a player and then go from there. We're gonna go to the player. We're gonna go modify. Yeah, we're gonna change this to be, instead of being a CC sprite renderer, we're gonna make this instead be just a mesh render. Come on, let's type better today. So we have the mesh renderers set here, and then on startup, what do we do on startup? We have the configuration loaded, and then from there we have hull renderer. Why is this not hull sprite renderer? Okay, this is not. Yeah, it is. Why are you being odd? Okay. Main texture. Or no, it's material. And I think we have to get the first one. And then. Actually, it's just one. We're not going to the array. And then main texture is going to be equal to configuration hull, and then in-game sprite. Yeah, that's what we're looking for here. And then we do that for a few different things. I think I might even move this to be a function part of the configuration. It's something that's going to be popping up a bunch, so it's alright. Maybe just have that be part of the actual configuration. Oh, oh, wait, because I'm at the wrong object. This is the object I want to go to. Yeah. Public. Do I want to do this? Yeah, why not? Apply config to sprites. Mesh render. Hull is the only one we have right now. We'll change that later. And then nice. And then do you need to document this? That's fine. And then we go to the player. And then what do we do from here? We're gonna do instead of this, we're gonna do configuration.set reply this, and then we're gonna provide our whole sprite render, and we should be good. All right, what's going on here, guys? Yeah, I do have ADHD. I don't talk about it. What do you do when you gotta go to sleep, but instead of falling asleep, you get full of ideas? Well, I just write them down. Have a notebook that's full of ideas, and then maybe I'll do some implementation on my notebook or something, or my laptop, or maybe just come downstairs and start doing some work. And they're Tim's. Page up and down. No, I'm coding, dog. I'm coding, man. When you code and you know where anything is, unless... It's funny when you code and you know where anything is, unless you forget the project, come back and forget where stuff is. Yeah, that's kind of a big pain for me, is switching contexts. I have so many different projects, and it's like they have their own structures, and it's like, all right, when I come back to them, it's going to be like, you have to pay a penalty of kind of just loading it back, the project state back into your mind. When the object-oriented programmer lacks object permanence. That's funny. It breaks me how he types it out of his head. It's hard to learn everything. My bad, man. Yeah, I'm not... This is not tip. Like, if I'm doing, like, something for learning, I'd be slower and far more willing to explain stuff, but I'm just kind of doing work right now. A may get low quality coder. A may. Are you talking to me? So what are you coding? Is it a game? Yeah, it's a game. I'm just doing some logic for the visuals right now. And then I'm gonna make things be a little bit different as well. And I think I might need to organize things a little bit different, because I think I want to have this be... I'm gonna try a few things out. I'm gonna try just rotating it in engine, or I'm gonna try animating this and then switching between animations. We're gonna find out though which one's gonna work out good or bad or what have you. And this is not gonna be a sprite. We're not gonna do a CC sprite renderer. This doesn't need any of these components actually. There's like no rigid body, no trigger collider events, no box collisions, none of this business. Yeah, you exist just to render a sprite. That is all. And yeah. Oh, that's what that means? Thank you, Keely. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a game that we're working on. So, we're having these slices because one slice is going to be the actual vehicle you're riding on. And you're going to be using... Where is it? Did I save it? I guess I didn't. Where did I think I saved it to? No, it has to be in the project somewhere. It's just not... I haven't applied changes to it. Yeah, hulls. We have this. We're going to apply our pixel sprite preset. It's going to be fine. We apply it. Life is going to be good. And then we go to our actual hulls here, and we were using the default one, which has a basic description, and we're gonna use the in-game sprite as like, what did I call it? What is this called? Red Blaze. Oh, my bad. Also, let's rename it to be T_. So that when we load the game, the correct sprite is used. And that's going to be the in-game sprite. Perfect. We're going to up the health a little bit too. I hate being so weak looking. Or weak feeling. And then from there, what are we going to do? The last thing we need to do is set up the player, and then we should be good to test this out to see if it actually visually does the things we want it to do. So we have the character here. We have the renderer on the actual object, but we're going to change that and have it be done by the child object. And then finally the whole. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's go to here. Where's the player component? Is it on here, actually? Oh, I don't even think it's on here. It's up here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we're going to do this one here, and then the hole here. That's the only things we need right now, I believe. And I think we should be good. As for sprite, are we using that anywhere? There's a field here that's called sprite, but we're not using it, so I'm just going to eliminate the stuff we're not using actively. And I think we're just going to close it, reload, and then try running it and see if it works. What's going on? Okay, what is that name? That's not... Is that Hito, the first character you have? I don't know what the second kanji is. But hey, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Alright, let's run it. Let's see if he broke stuff. I'm sorry, man. I recognize your profile pic and everything, but I don't see the rest. I'm sorry. Okay, and this is blank. Why are we blank? What part of this is blank? Mesh render. There should be a separate instance. We're gonna hide this because we're not actually gonna be rendering these yet. And the hole should be in front. Or actually, no, the character should be in front of the... Oh, that's a weird thing, isn't it? Let's see. Otsutsuki Sazuku. Oh, Tsutsu. Okay, thank you. In fact, I'm gonna save this so I don't forget. Actually, I'm just gonna flame shot it. Flame shot. Bam. Forever secured. In fact, this is how secured it is. I'm gonna send it to my personal DM so I don't forget. Also, do you have any people in the Discord? Welcome aboard, Icy Good Times. Glad to have you guys. Because I can, Speckled. Because I can. Alright, so her sprite's popping up correctly, and that's good. As for the vehicle sprite, it is not popping up, and that is not good. So let's figure out what is going on there, because it's showing up as just pure white. So I'm assuming they were using this one, the starting hole. The default engine, yeah, I'm assuming it's a default. Oh, I never said it, did I? Oh, that's for engine. No, I'm looking at the default hull. And this one has the correct thing set to it, yeah. Okay. Wait, why is there two in-game sprite? I'm sorry, what? Okay, that's not great. We should probably fix that and inspect why that looks that way, but okay, we'll deal with that. Otsutsuki is a family name from Naruto. Huh. I'm not sure where Naruto is. I'm still learning kanji, so I know the struggle. I still haven't come across yet, or maybe I did, but I didn't memorize it. Yeah. Hey, we have the bike. We actually have the bike now, and it looks correct. But the difference is that now we can swap out. Oh my goodness! Not only that, we have more accurate normal. Okay, 1 second. Let's pause, and we're gonna zoom in a little bit in the game. We're gonna zoom in a little bit. Do you see how the character has way more? Because we're using the edge of the sprite to calculate it. So like now the character's face and legs and stuff are actually being affected by this. This is actually really sick. So not only does separating it allow us to change and customize the different parts of the character, but now we can, and the bike, we also have better rim lighting effects. That, it looks so good. That looks so freaking good. Rolled on a pipe, basically. It's kind of like Animal Crossing style looking thing. I don't know why that can. We got the Fire Knight bot. It's not working. Firebots, for some reason, there's some commands that work and other commands that just don't work. I don't know why. Very, very heartbreaking. Okay, so let me try building this to the cheapo phone now. Let's try building it to the cheapo phone. Which honestly, I'm kind of surprised. Like it's kind of nice actually. This phone. What is it? So we just started this phone today, and what does it come with? Of course, you have all the G Suite things or the Google stuff. Oh, Office 365 and Outlook, and you can't uninstall. Can you uninstall them? Oh, you can uninstall it. Beautiful. OneDrive. Oh, I can't uninstall that one. That one's only disabled. And then Copilot. Uninstall. Very interesting. You get a feel for what a new phone starts with. Gross. Yeah, you can at least disable it. That's not a consolation though. Like, yeah, it's disabled, but I just want it gone completely. I just wanted to have full to make sure that they're active and out of nowhere. Gotcha. What happened right now? What happened there? What happened there? Do you guys just saw what happened? The sprite for the player on the sprite binder got overwritten. Maybe because they share the same material, the same base material. Yeah, and I think because we were setting this also on okay, we're learning stuff today. Also, yeah, we're not rendering on the root here. Get out of here. We're not doing any rendering here. Okay, I have to get rid of the mesh filter and then the mesh renderer. Oh my goodness. What else is dependent upon you? Oh, the sprite renderer is dependent upon the mesh. We're not using the sprite renderer though, so we're good actually. We can remove this because you're using the child sprite object to do the rendering here. So we're good. Okay, cool. And now this just contains baseline logic. They only come back after major updates or resets. See, I don't like that, man. I don't like that. That's why we're gonna switch to Carbon at some point. I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes first, but it'll be cool. All right. So what do we have going on here? Right. We have this. We have this player. They're sharing the same material. That's no good. And instead we want to have player idle there. This needs to be its own material instance. I think that's the issue here. So let's go to the asset in projects. I'm going to duplicate it. Maybe make this be like M hull and throw that on there. Cool. And then now this character should be correct. Let's also just fix this naming convention. For these particular material instances, and then try running, and hopefully this should fix all the issues. Hopefully. Cool. Works now. If we start and stop again, how is that going to look? Oh, actually, is FPS actually bad right now? No, it's good, it's good. We're good. Yeah, for a second I thought I saw 9 FPS, but no, we're still good. Gosh, I love the way this looks. I'm not seeing it as much with the hull of the little ship we got going on, but maybe we can change the distance on that material. In fact, maybe we can do something to like allow an extra level of customizability, which is add like a because we were doing the rim lighting in this shader, and we have this variable here that's like hard coded pixel distance. But we can just make this be a uniform in our little shader. And then we name it like normal pixel distance. Or alpha test distance or something. And then up here we go to here. We set this to be like this. And then it's going to be a float. And then we're going to remove all instances of this variable with nice. So that we can go into the hull and expand that so that that particular material instance is going to appear to be much more responsive to like the normal. So we can go to, for example, and underscore hull. We have this now. We can make it like, I don't know, 8 or something. Something a little bit more ridiculous. And run it and see if it responds the way we want it to. Okay. Now as we go off to the edge. I'm not really seeing it on the on that sprite though. That is curious. So it's working on one sprite, but not the other sprite. So if we go into the game scene, click on you, you're exhibiting everything you want to see happen. That's cool. Now as for the hull, you don't seem to be exhibiting that at all. Now I wonder if it's due to you not being, because the main difference is that this actually has a CC sprite animator. This has like components it doesn't need to have either. We need to get rid of those. But that's, aside from that, I wonder if the CC sprite renderer, because it doesn't have that, it's not getting some critical information be passed over to like the like its tile information. But even then, I think it would default to 0 or something. So I don't think that's necessarily the case, unless tiling it is... No. Yeah, no, it definitely has the offset information there. Oh, you know what might be the case? Because it looks very low resolution. Oh, it's not receiving sprite information. It needs to know the size of the sprite it's rendering. We don't have a sprite animator for this, so that's why it's not doing that. Okay, now I understand why this is an issue, why it's doing what it's doing. We also have to make this 64 by 64 because it's not going to do the correct rendering. Okay, that's an easy problem to fix. We can just simply go to hull, and then we have like we have F&M scriptable objects. We have in-game sprite. What I'm going to do is actually change it to be a sprite binder instead. And then you are going to be a sprite binder as well. That's going to change a few different things here. But that is a okay in-game sprite. All these are going to have to change to be sprite binders, which is going to be something that actually contains that information. And I think it's better that way in case you want to actually have a ship that's animated. It's not the end of the world. What are you missing? Oh, because I didn't change this abstraction. Okay. Now this needs to change as well because we're no longer dealing with just direct mesh renders, but instead we're actually setting an animation, not a static texture. So we need to make this a sprite binder as well, and update the signature here to be a CC sprite render. Cool. And we no longer do this, but rather we do hull set sprite, and then it'll be hull.ingame sprite. Perfect. And then as for other things, all the other things like engines will probably be affected by this. I don't know. We're just gonna go into the here and see if it compiles stuff. Thank you, man. Like, that takes years of work. Honestly, I only started really using Vim this past like 2 years, and Linux this past like 8 months. And you'll be surprised. Like, if you're forced to use something consistently, like, you'll just get it. You'll pick it up, man. It's either do or die. I mean, it's a little dramatic, but once you get to that feeling, that taste of flow, you can't go back. You can't go back. All right, I think this should be good. Now we have to manually go back into the slow Unity UI land and manually set this stuff back again. So, yeah, wrong thing. We're actually going to set the hull here. And we have to actually set this to be a sprite binder as well, or use a CC sprite renderer. And it's going to need a sprite of some sort. We'll deal with that later. As for the character, you don't need a lot or any of this stuff because this is just due to being a duplicate of the containing parent. So you just need the bare minimum to render the things you need to render. Same thing for you. Perfect. And then we can go into here, and we can make a new where is it? Sprite binder. And you're going to be this. That's going to be your main one. There's no normal map. There's only one animation. You only have one animation here, one cell there. Speed, there's only one. It doesn't matter. You're looping. Yeah, it's fine. And that should be all the sprite information you need to be able to get the effect we desire. Cool. And then with that being said, we can go back to resources, go back to the hull, and we can replace this missing thing with red blaze, and it should be good to go. Perfect. And we press play, hopefully it just works. Hopefully we press play, it works. And hey, so far so good. If we go to angle, darn you, Dinkelberg. Okay, 1 second. I have one hope left, which is re-import. Cool. Go to character, and we go to player. Yeah, we never. There you go. You're assigned now, and then you are assigned here. Actually, you're assigned there, but we're gonna have to do things a little bit differently. Okay, let's see if this works now. Moment of truth. Oh my goodness. What is this sensation I'm feeling? Alright, pain. Pain. This world shall know pain. You. How could you have done this to me? Study for my last final exam. I'm studying my accumulated Japanese lessons. Good luck with the game and have fun. Hey, good luck on your exam as well, man. Also appreciate not using music and having that fire. I'm glad, man. Yeah, I think I'm kind of chilling with the music and just having a chill, relaxed ambience. If I listen to music, I'll probably just put on headphones or something. Bots getting replaced by humans to give chat information? Nani? Just don't shoot lasers at me. The math doesn't lie. Well, apparently, yeah, apparently it's not the liar. I'm the liar here. I'm a liar because this is not working. It's not working. Is it not enabled? Oh my goodness. I think it's because we didn't set the default sprite. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe this time it's gonna work fine. What's going on, Kate? Glad to see you. Hey, and now the bike's actually being subjected to it. Cool. I don't think I have to make it as extreme as before. And let's go down the other way. Yeah, buddy. This is looking great. That is just looking groovy. Yeah, so mobile support, yeah. So I tested it I bought a $40 phone. We opened it up, started it up on stream. We tested it. And the game on my phone runs at 30 FPS consistently. On this phone, though, it goes to 15 FPS in areas of a lot of geometry. But then once you leave that area, it goes to 30 FPS. So it means that we're gonna have to do either some optimizations and some culling of geometry, or we just keep things simple and go with the 2D shells approach. And diving into this kind of control map implementation. But yeah, so this was not a waste. Buying the cheap phone and testing it out was not a waste. We actually got some good information from this. So heck yeah, dude. Goal is 60 FPS on mobile. Probably 30 FPS. I'm gonna see, because I feel like my personal phone should be higher, but I think Unity might be in place enforcing some kind of FPS limit. I have to look into that. But the fact on the other phone it's going to like 15 FPS is already problematic, so I think it's fine to target 30 FPS and then we can go from there. But I feel like that for this type of game, it should be very much feasible to get a a better amount going. I have to add mobile support to my game for a college exam, which is a pain. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, mobile's a whole thing. Yeah, not to mention like weird graphics APIs. Some stuff just doesn't work quite the same. But thankfully for this game, like the places where that happened, I can actually just disable it because we're just not going to do that. Also, you know, while we're at this, well, first of all, let's just do some commits first of all. So let's go to, cause I think we've done some significant progress. I think we're in Ranger, right? I forgot what it is. You do Control or Shift S, I think, to exit it, within this directory. Okay, cool. What branch are we on right now? Master. Let's just commit to master, baby. We're not gonna do conventional commits yet. I probably should at some point, but whatever. It's a personal project. We get to be wacky and weird like this. Separating character sprites and making time. I forgot how you do this. Is it just master? Git push does not appear to be a Git repository. What? What is going on here? Or is it Berg? I'm pretty sure I committed. Did I not commit? Oh, it's only with one M. That's why. I'm dumb. There we go. And then push to Berg. Perfect. I did one M instead of two M's. That's why. Yeah, we got the vertical stream is kind of the elite stream. It's kind of weird because you'd think the horizontal stream would be the one, but actually it's kind of weird, man. I feel like I could fit way more in the vertical stream than the horizontal stream. It's very odd. Look like crap, but still got 90s. Let's go. I'm in a computer and still stayed on a vertical stream. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I never expected this to be the ideal, but I think because we already have so many vertical things, it's easier to stack them up. Or horizontal oriented things with like 16:9. That's easier just to stack them up instead of side by side. But yeah, it is what it is. Hey Josh, what's going on, Josh? What's going on, dude? Good to see you, man. It's been a fat minute. Happy New Year, happy belated Christmas, man. Hope everything's going good, dude. But yeah, it's crazy how the vertical streams. It's always popping. It's always popping there. We can do something technical. We could do that. Or I can work on the joystick and upscaling it because I kind of hate the current joystick. I feel like I need to up the resolution by like twofold. Sprite size 200%. We'll do a quick little art thing real quick. Happy all the holidays, brother. Hope all's well with you. Yeah, everything's good with me, man. Hopefully everything's good with you too, man. Hopefully everything's popping with the tech and stuff. Hopefully everything's going good at work, man. We haven't talked in a while. We should really talk, man. It's been a fat minute. It'll be good to catch up, dude. But yeah, man. Hope everything's going good though, man. What are we doing here? That's not looking good. Yeah, knowing where you work, man, I'm like, I imagine there's some interesting stuff going on with all the things in the news. Or this chill with you? Let's go, man. I'm glad to see it, dude. Glad to see it. Or maybe it's chilled out. I don't know. I know there's like a simple way to upscale this, but I'm just not doing it. Now I'm kind of doing it. Low-key things have been kind of slow. Really? Hey, man. That's better than overwhelming. Like half my screen space with people seem to be here, so yeah. To compile for iOS, Prof said it was difficult to get SDKs and permissions. Yeah, iOS is terrible. Like I don't. After working with the Vision Pro, I just do not want to go to Apple's walled garden ever again. And I know like you don't have to have a MacBook to build to the platform, but like it's way more convenient if you do. And I'm like, oh, gosh, is this how they get me? Is this how they get me? Is this how Apple gets me? Not because of like a good product, but because of technical requirements or just ease of use. Oh man. But it's gonna get crazy soon. Okay, yeah. Right now my plan is to see how I feel a year from now. My gift is moving here in June. Let's go. So we decided to go to Atlanta after our lease ends. Let's go, dude. Wait. Are you not in Florida anymore? Wait, there's a lot to process there, man. They do a lot of quality control, yeah. I love the wall garden. I don't like making software for it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I feel like I just made a terrible circle. I feel like everything I've done here has been bad. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just cross the streams, do this one here, cross the streams. We're gonna break the bridges, burn the bridges, bam, and then we're gonna select this stuff, bam, delete it, cool, and then we're gonna do this again, but right this time, and then we'll go from there, bam. Oh, is Asebright actually? It's moving with me. Oh my goodness! Did Linux fix something? What? No siree, I can't believe this. Okay, that looks like an actual circle now. Then we do this one. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Yeah, that I feel like I'm off on the y-axis. I think I should start like right here instead. Yeah, that feels correct. There we go. See, first try, totally first try. You gotta draw a face, erase the details, then get the circle. You're right, I should have drawn Michelangelo. And then get there. I do want to do art though. Maybe not stream it. Just make some pure art. I seen like some really good art. I've been going to a little art history kind of binge lately. And I see some art from back in the day that just goes so hard. I'm like, I haven't seen anything like this. I haven't seen anything like this. Or things that imitate it, but don't quite achieve what they achieved. I'm like, dang. People used to go hard, man. There's some crazy stories too. Like, there's some people who do art to like there's a guy who killed someone in a duel, and he uses art to bargain to get out of getting executed, and that's a whole story. And it worked. Like, he got out of getting executed, but then he had to become a knight. So he uses art to bargain to become a knight. Also, let me just 1 second. I know this is probably not causing issues, but why not have less things there? But yeah, man, I'm glad to hear things are moving for you, Josh. Go to ATL together. Okay, you're in Florida. My girlfriend's in Atlanta. Oh, and she's moving in here in June. Got you. So she's gonna move to Florida, and then if things go good, you guys go to Atlanta together. Gotcha. That makes sense. Gotcha. What you're doing and what's your objective? Krishna, I'm just upscaling some texture real quick for the on-screen joystick, and then from there I'm not sure what I'm gonna implement, because we just finished implementing the character stuff. We should probably do the character movement. Ooh, that's actually a good fun thing to do, actually. I do enjoy the character movement stuff. So maybe we should start implementing that before just upscaling this sprite. But I'll tell you, it just bothered me. Let's go back to the game. It bothered me, the low resolution of the sprite. I'm gonna go to bed, but it was good talking to you, brother. Yeah, you have a go, man. Okay, we have to catch up sometime. So this is the game. Yeah, we need to do some rotations to indicate, like, hey, the player's moving up or down, and to what degree are they doing that? And there's some weird cases. I almost want to have the character be forced to keep going forward, and the most you can control is like how much speed forward you go, and then like up and down. That way you don't have to worry about going backwards or anything like that. Kind of makes you lose a spark. I wouldn't lose a spark, man. I think a lot of companies have vested interest in hyping up AI, and I don't think it's all there. And I think they're aware of that too. There's a reason Microsoft is having a meltdown over being called microslop, right? So there's always going to be jobs for programmers. Honestly, just stay in your lane, man. Focus on what keeps you interested, what makes you, what gives you excitement in terms of implementing or exploring or what have you. And allow that skill to translate. Like, look at that. That looks so much better. All right, we're gonna add, let me try doing some stuff. We're gonna do the player. We're gonna go down a little bit. And here's where we did the minimum speed thing. So now there's like a minimum speed that the player has to travel at, which is like, in this case, you can do like, I don't know, 5 or 3. The concept of the brake is going to change though, because then you can't just like stop all the way. You're just stopping to the minimum. From going backwards, maybe that's a kind of a cool idea actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But no matter what, you still have to have some kind of sprite, some sprite state for traveling backwards. Re-import. add an out of bounds trigger to the left of what is visible to the camera. I don't know, we'll see. I think part of it's also just for, I know it sounds bad, right? Because it's like you want to have give players more choice, but honestly, like managing, I found with my nieces playing this, they struggle to manage the whole going forward thing, right? Choosing to go up and down is easy, but the forward and backward stuff is actually kind of trippy for them. So in a weird way, adding constraints does make it a bit, I don't know what's the word, it's not just easy, but accessible then to like actually get to the gamey part of the game. I don't know, we'll see though. I think having the minimum like we have right now where you're just going backwards is fine. I just have to modify the brake logic now, because it's not going to work the way I have it in mind. Or maybe we just don't need brakes. Like we can simplify this down to just like the engine, because even going super fast is kind of a liability. We need to do the audio system implementation at some point too. That's a whole thing we need to account for. Oh, there's so much to do, man. So much to do. Okay, let's start doing the movement though. So we have let's go to, where's Ryder? Here we go. We have this. We have the root for the character stuff, and that's going to be just assigned to itself. So on here, we're just going to start, we're going to just do root equals just transform. Or actually, no. It's like the first child. So we actually have to have it be assigned. So let's just do assert. Not null. And assert that this has been set before we get into playing. And then here we have the physics update, which is going to actually modify the player and rotate stuff around. As far as the up and down component for our rotational speed, translation velocity, we're really just looking at the product of the rotation delta. We can do, where is this? Translation velocity. And then here's, okay, the angular velocity, that's what we're doing, that's what you're using. So that's actually the delta we're looking for. And we're gonna do some kind of rotation, a certain amount, based off of positive and negative. So we can do root dot local rotation equals, and then we're gonna do quaternion Euler. No, that's deprecated. That caused the issues we had before. Euler. And then what are we gonna do here for this rotation? We're gonna be rotating across the z-axis, I believe. So these should be 0, and we can do like a clamp. In fact, we do my math utilities clamp, because I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact I've implemented this. Don't lie to me. I know or actually, that's just a basic thing that exists. I don't even have a utility for this because that's just part of math, I believe. Yeah, math clamp, and then we're gonna do value, which is current angle. It's gonna be positive or negative, and then we're gonna have like a maximum angle of like, let's say 30 degrees, and then positive 30, and we're gonna clamp the values between there. I'm assuming this is the correct, you do value and then lower and upper. Yep. So let's just try this out and then see if this works the way you want to. why don't you make 3D games we all gonna love? Because I want to make games for my fam and games that I think are cool. And I already have games I'm working on, but this is a project that catches my interest right now. And we forgot to set this. We forgot to set it. Here we go. Cool. Save it and then run it. I'm sorry if I try to help too much. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Kate. Okay. It doesn't return back to normal though. So it's like it's stuck. Like the player's like a dead fish that's like stuck up there. That's kind of hilarious. So that's not doing what I expected it to do. Come on. Don't do this to me. Okay, so we have transform. That's the transform though. So what's going on here? Oh, because that's current angle. My bad. We used the wrong. I'm supposed to be using angular velocity. There we go. Reopen. That's kind of funny though, Krishna. Because you're saying like making a 3D game, like why don't you make that? Like you make it sound like making a 3D game is easy too. All right, let's see. Nice. Okay. I think I want to have more extremes going on here. Yeah, I think we need to have more extremes. It almost feels like not responsive to... I almost feel like I should lerp it instead of using the direct value. Or maybe I think it's already lerped actually. I think there's some kind of interpolation going on. Let me make this a bit more extreme. I think to emphasize this, what we're gonna do is have like float, angle, max angle. Maybe make it like 45 or something. And replace this to be with 45. Oh, not, whoops, wrong thing. Okay, and then this one we're gonna have like, I don't know, exaggeration. It's gonna be like maybe twofold or threefold. So we're gonna take this value and then multiply it by 3, or exaggeration. Just to be extra, make it feel a little bit more jumpy. Let's go on BTades. Where is the editor? There's the editor. Okay, cool. Let's run it. See how this works, or looks. Okay, I think the exaggeration does help. There's still like a, because the delta value is like an interpolated value. So it's gonna be responding towards that. But I think we shouldn't use that. We should instead actually get the original, the raw input. So let's look at usages of this. Excuse me. Where are you assigned? So you are using delta theta. Oh, that's for receiving damage. Nope. Okay, so angular velocity equals angular velocity. Interpolation between this and the max angular speed. And input y is from there directly. Okay. We have this interpolated thing. I think to have this feel more responsive, though, we're gonna have to get an input vector to input from here. And then instead of using angular velocity, we instead use input.y instead. Because that's representing what the player is attempting to do, not necessarily what... Yeah, not necessarily what is actually happening with the machine. Where does our input happen? Delta X. On received damage, I guess it doesn't really matter? Or we can cache input? I don't know, we're gonna just do default for right now. Tri-beam, huh! Oh, it's very little. The input's very little. It's so small. Why is input so small? And that's for on receiving damage. But as far as this one's concerned, input y is what? It should be -1 to 1, right? Oh, we have to max. So if it's a normal, okay, we have to actually make it be normalized. Or not normalized, it's normalized value. We have to scale it to our actual expected value ranges, which is gonna be the max angle. And okay, there we go. Let's try this out. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a version for. There we go. Okay, that's a little hilarious. Because with the keyboard, it's a discrete yes or no. There's no variability here. With here, it's a lot more control. So this actually, I'm not sure which I prefer, actually. One that's like very responsive. I think we're gonna have to do a step below this. Like have some interpolation, cache the last input value, and then interpolate, but at a faster rate than the actual current angular representation. I think that would be the way we go about doing this. That feels pretty good. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, so we're gonna have to have like So we're gonna have and we're gonna just yoink this, chuck it there. That's sprite angle. And then next we're gonna do the same thing here, but instead it's gonna be math f lerp between last input, or no, last sprite angle, and some kind of coefficient for our speed. Like, I don't know, within 1 second it should have probably turned like, say, 10 times. Okay, that seems fair to me. We probably have to add some other, yeah, like time.delta time for this component offset, or do we? I don't think so. Or maybe we do. I don't know. Yeah, because we're doing it at this speed. That's assuming we have time.delta time. Okay, so we have this. We have our in fact, no. We yoink this. We're gonna do last sprite angle is gonna be equal to its old value, the current value it's going to, and then rotation speed times that, and then rotation speed should be defined up here. So it's going to lerp, and then over here we end up just using last sprite angle, and that should have the effect of having it be consistent so it doesn't snap back to the input, but instead will kind of go to what it was last doing. Insane jump scare from the live stream. Sorry, I was just scrolling. The nose algorithms you. Okay, and this is okay. This actually feels good. So even with keyboard, even with a discrete yes or no, is button pressed yes or no, it's you still have this smooth range of values, and it's like matching the joystick, but there's still a little bit of like a delay because you know you can't accelerate mass instantaneously. You can't go to that speed instantaneously. So yeah. And now we need to do like some VFX for the jet. But that's all right. Yeah, the objects just coming at you is terrible though. You can't, like, it's very hard to react. Especially like on the Y component because the screen is so shorter there. I'm very happy with this though. This is actually really cool. What's going on? Oh, the algorithm knows, like a dolphin or a salmon. A little space fish, that'd be kind of cool. I can't wait to do more environmental stuff because I have ideas for the environment, but I just want to get the technical things we need to get done, dude. Like even the hazard generation needs to be much more. It needs to be much more refined. I think what I might do is, instead of having this be generated randomly, or I think what I'm going to do is, because right now I'm just, let's go here. Let's just go here. Right now, we just have this play grid. Essentially, it's just a big square wrapped around a cylinder, and we're just spawning objects all around here. So it's just kind of arbitrary, which means that when you're playing, things either just pop in or pop out, and it's just kind of, right? What I want to do is actually do a subtractive generation method, where instead we populate the entire board with objects, like so. Like there's just objects all over the place. Okay, is there a way I can... Okay, let's do this. No, it's not filled. Okay, whatever. Is there no simple, like, I just want to fill and then subtract. Whatever. We fill the entire board with like hazards and whatnot, right? The whole thing is just blacked out. And then what we do is instead, we procedurally subtract a path from point A to point B, from X to Y, through this. Oh my goodness, you're killing me. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Here we go. So we generate paths through here, subtracting everything in the wake of it, so that instead of just random obstacles that are popping in, instead there's like this environment that the player is actively responding to. So it's not like something is coming out of nowhere, or if it's something coming from somewhere, they know specifically where it's going to come from. If there's a hazard, it's going to be like one randomly placed in the middle of the path, and you can react to that potentially. But it's like it's easier to keep track because your focus is along this path, not from every which way. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try making like a subtractive generation method, so that the player instead has like this network of paths they can take, and hopefully it'll make it feel more intentional. The background, yeah, the background, everywhere where it's black here is where the background is still going to be visible. It's just that there's going to be like a very distinctive thing that's going to be occupying the front. Melon, do you hear the flippity jibbity jibber jabber? That's me, man. That's me talking. I'm not sure if I want to, because honestly, if we're going to do that, like I almost want to make something a bit more sophisticated, because I could just make a bunch of like hazard, like I'm saying subtractive, but really it's going to be something like this with the cells we have, where it's going to be like, all right, there's hazards here and here and here, and it's like a line to a grid, and then down a little bit, and you're going to have hazards that appear that way. But I almost want to be like, hey, let's just we do this, and then maybe we do some kind of algorithm to generate topology. Like, this is stupid, all right? But this would be kind of cool if we have dynamic meshes. Like we generate, because what we're doing is kind of what we do with like volumetric data and creating meshes, right? Where it's like, if you have a bunch of spaces, discrete space, and we have a definition of, hey, this is solid and this is absent, you can like generate a very simple rudimentary, like, and not even a signed distance field. It doesn't have to be distance. You just have something that's in or out, and then like, or actually we could just do like a signed distance field or something. And then like from there you can march through the array or the buffer and like start knitting together geometry, because okay, we know like between here and here, that's where it flips from, you know, filled to not filled. Let's set the color. So then you can like set vertices at different points, and so then you have a image of like, okay, here's where all the vertices are for this particular shape, and then you can like stitch it together and not just generate a flat thing, but then you can extrude it upwards and it will just kind of work let me move this. Or maybe even add like some other rules to generate interesting topology on there for different heights or whatnot. Depending if you want to be more organic or make it more mechanical. But either way, we can create these meshes, the procedurally generated meshes, have it be extruded, and now when the player is playing, like there's this actual physical 3D thing that's jutting out. So it feels more like physical walls that you're navigating through, as opposed to just like random arrays of objects and noise. And it's like a 2D thing, so it's simpler to generate that. I think it'll be simpler to do that. Stuck on a puzzle, so I'm gonna make some food. Sounds like a good plan, Kai. Polish later, yep. Kind of like a cave, Voronoi-ish displacement. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Go get an eel to charge that phone. Till then, stay cozy, y'all. You have a go, man. Thanks for popping in, though, Charles. Thanks for doing the mod stuff you do, man. But yeah, that would be cool. That would actually be kind of sick. And it'd be a nice way to distinguish between foreground elements and background elements, because then like this stuff is very excuse me. This stuff is very it's 3D, right? As opposed to shells of just 2D surfaces, which I think I'm gonna stick to actually, because that might be visually distracting. Let me check something. Is burst compilation supported on is burst compilation supported on mobile or Android? I mean, that's the AI answer. Let's see this. Can burst support all platforms in 2020? All devices shipped after the second half of 2014 is ARM64. I don't know the correct answer to your question. I'm assuming it should be burst compiler, because I've seen options for ARM64 compilation on there. So this actually might be more feasible to do this. Like, I know this sounds crazy, and maybe kind of dumb on my part, and I'm known to do dumb things and overcomplicate stuff. But I can't help but feel like this would be really cool, having like this kind of structure to the world. Yeah, because I feel like it just guides your attention as a player. I almost wonder if you have the camera rotate around, because right now the camera is very fixed this way. Maybe we keep it like that so you keep your bearings. But yeah, I know I think we have to do that. Never mind. I'm not gonna entertain that thought I had. This is sick though. This is actually really cool. A really cool idea if I actually end up doing it well. And let's look at the code for the game board. Cause yeah, what does this board look like? We have the model, which is just a list of entities. And right, that entities are just limited to this. So we have to make a separate map. of like the same dimension size. Oh my goodness. Am I actually gonna do this to myself? This game that was meant to be simple, just one-upping a 3-lane infinite runner. Are we really gonna just go hog wild and making the most cool thing? I mean, the view kind of works for that. I wonder how it'll look. Like, let's do a simple prototype of this. Like, not even implement it. We're just gonna get some cubes and throw it into the environment and see how this feels for the player. Like in the scene. So we're gonna go to here. Okay, here we are. Where is the character? That's where they live. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create some new test stuff. I'm gonna get rid of all this materials we have here. So I don't think they're vastly necessary right now. And what we're gonna do is just place some cubes. They're gonna be kind of representing the generated mesh and maybe make a vague little path for ourselves. To kind of show like what might be a path the player could encounter. Because there's other considerations like collision, right? We can do a thing where it's just, oh, you hit it, you go, you get knocked back. But then we have to do like a thing of like, all right, but what direction? And then we have to do a ray cast or have like, it's not as simple as the collisions we're doing for other characters. That's the point I'm kind of making. Like before, we just had a simple test against spheres and boxes. This is gonna be more of a complex mesh, procedurally generated mesh topology, which means that assumptions you may have had before may not work here. No, I'm gonna try it out, Melon. Okay. Oh my goodness. My system's spiking. What's going on, brain hacks? I mean, that simple little thing doesn't seem that bad. How far can I extrude this out on the Z-axis before it becomes like distracting? Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Okay. So this is for sure one option. There's actually a few options here. We can do the procedural mesh generation by like computing a kind of sign distance field thing. Or we can have like a set piece where we have like, or a tile system for mesh where we have like a set of meshes. And because these aren't gonna be bound to a grid, right? So it's not like a smooth thing like this. It would actually be like a grid like this, and then the next elements would be up here, and so on and so forth. So you can have a thing where it's like, hey, we can make it where you have like a set of different meshes for different parts of the environment. So maybe like a corner piece like this, and then maybe like an edge piece like this. And you can stitch these meshes together based off of the structure here. Oh, you know what though? Because when testing on this phone, we did find issues with mesh complexities. So if we get rid of the complex meshes in the background, I wonder what kind of budget this gives us to do this weird, wacky, and weird mesh business. I think if we do this route though, it would be easier to cull meshes that are not going to be rendered because everything's already in discrete segments. Whereas over here, we do like the procedural mesh generation, you're going to have like entire chunks that are going to have to be drawn even if like only one little part is actually being displayed on screen. Whereas here we have these bunch of chunks that are going to be broken up into little discrete pieces. I almost want to try to do that. And we also have a thing for culling meshes as well, so we can just do that. Oh my goodness, I'm having ideas, guys. Maybe bad ideas, but ideas. Yeah, because then, like, what would you have? Like, what circumstances do you have for, like, a grid like this? So you have circumstances where this is... So you have to worry about which scenarios. When you have... Let's just draw it out. Let's just draw the different possibilities that it can exist. And the fact that we have burst on our side here is like super exciting because it opens up doors I would never have considered before. So if you have like, there's this configuration. So if you have a neighbor here, you're gonna do like you're gonna have one. You have one for this kind of configuration. Maybe we'll do one for the cross configurations as well, like this. Of course, there's gonna be this kind of configuration to worry about, as well as this also alternate. And then there's also, I should really draw the cells so you can see what kind of scenarios I'm painting out here. And in fact, let's use a different color too while we're at it. Let's use, I don't know, red. And a smaller, oh, that's the smallest you have? Oh, you're tearing me apart, Lisa. I mean, we can probably do combinatorics to figure out the different permutations. I just want to visually see the permutations that exist for this. I would like to select this, please. Thank you. So I would have to make, or Charles, this could be something you do, is have a set of meshes. Because then it gives us freedom to make things visually distinct per environment. So you have one for like here, here, here. In fact, the object pooling system we have would work perfectly for this kind of thing as well. Because then we could just recycle the objects to occupy what exists on screen and what's needed on screen. Of course, verticals. Then we have this scenario. You have I'm pressing undo. I don't know why this is saying create mark. There we go. I don't like how goofy this looks. I've done this already for Crimson Crown for the dungeon level generation, so this is actually not that crazy of an idea. It's just gonna be integrated in our specific little system. And then, yeah, this actually is very cool. I like this a lot more. Meow, meow, meow. And then more permutations would be like this scenario here. In fact, we're gonna group these up based off of like, there's a lot of similarities between these. You get the idea though. So like, for example, in this scenario, we'd have to have a mesh for a corner piece. But the way it's represented can vary wildly based on our application. So like, for example, let's do this scenario here, for example, or this corner piece here. So you have an edge that's gonna be adjacent to other pieces, right? So it has to have a distinct corner and it has to connect with everything to the next of it. And ooh, because this is empty here, so that means we have to have like a edge like that. But anyways, like you'd have this mesh that can come down like this and may have a bunch of different details for it, and then it's gonna have to connect to the sides in this manner. So like you can have something where this is like an office building, or maybe it can be like some kind of mechanical shaft, or it can be like, hey, this is actually terrain, so this is like an ice mountain type of thing, and there's like snow around the edges of it. Either way though, like this, we just know what type of structure has to exist. We can just pull from a set of pre-existing objects to achieve that. And in fact, I think we don't have to make a bunch of permutations. I think we can boil this down to a set of few variations, and it'll be fine actually. Maybe if we can like maybe have a one mesh per chunk. Or one, yeah, like chunk of like 9 or 3x3 grids. Ooh, it does sound like a wave function collapse algorithm. Yeah, it is. It's essentially if a wave function collapse algorithm. That's exactly what we're doing. We're just gonna have a set of different permutations, and as you go through this, the only thing is that unlike a wave function collapse algorithm, you're just not starting with the whole state already defined. In our case, the entire state is already defined. We're just applying some kind of tile rule to it. And essentially, this is what we're doing, is creating a tile rule, except instead of for 2D geometry or 2D sprites, we're using 3D geometry for this. Yeah, I think this might be the move, dude. And it's all gonna be defined based off of neighbors. Cool. I'm gonna have to make some sketches, and then I'm gonna have to reach out to Terrell and maybe do another round, but now with this thing. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I was out for a while. But I think this would be the cool thing. I think this would be the sick Chad thing to do. So we're gonna have to test some things. This generator, I think it's actually gonna be pretty straightforward if I'm gonna be real with you. Like you're just gonna have multiple different, let's call them threads, a thread that's gonna be cutting through and getting to the end, because we're not making a deterministic. We're not making one path. It's just there has to be a certain number of paths from start to end. That's all that matters. Yeah. I'm excited. Actually, I like this. I think I like this tiling structure better. Most complicated game of tic-tac-toe I've seen so far. Yeah, it's a game of tic-tac-toe where no one wins. For me, it's a what? Have a fun, nice day. Thank you, German coder. I'm not sure what I might be missing context. Okay. I'm gonna iterate through this. I'm gonna think through this. Because I think there's yeah. I need to get the culling system working. I need to get this culling system working because it's not working how we want it to. In fact, let me save real quick. Because for this to work effectively, especially on the low-end device, it's going to hinge upon our culling code working very good. Not only chunk coding on the x-axis, which is the most, to be honest, that's the most intensive part, but also squeezing out the y-axis as well, so that only the things within view are going to have objects set and placed on there. That's going to be the key to success here. That's how we're going to... That is going to be the ace of spades. That's going to be Saddam Hussein. That's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Man. Oh yeah, okay. Next stream, we did quite a bit today. Like, we got down the players, we fixed the movement, we have the sprites being separated, we have, we started implementing the timer thing, which is going to be pretty good. I feel pretty happy with the work we got done. Let me save what we have so far, though, if I can find it. I can't. Oh, I forgot. I have this option. Yeah. And I can go here and then W. Yep. And then we fixed the sunlight direction thing. Though in this case we only really scene changes and UI upscale or joystick upscale. I didn't finish the other part of it. Whatever, we'll get there eventually. Okay, I feel very excited about this. Let's freaking go, guys. Alright, I'm going to end stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, God bless, stay cozy, and I'll catch you guys next time.